Did the first time someone asked you for your autograph, did they ask for you as Terminator X, or did they just know you were in Public Enemy?
That's a great question. I think we probably had Public Enemy jackets on.
Okay.
I would assume because we always had tour jackets, so they probably saw that. But yeah, but
Hmm.
like coming out in Italy, they knew my face,
That's crazy.
So that was yeah, that was like wow, really?
Hmm.
Yeah.
And speaking of the evolution of Public Enemy with Rebel Without a Pause, after Yo Bum Rush the Show, it seemed like a dramatically different, especially sonically and thematically, and Chuck's
Hmm.
delivery, the vibe. You're co-writing the song now. So what led to all these different changes that happened so quickly?
The inspiration for Rebel Without a Pause um, was probably Rakim's Eric B. and Rakim's. I know you got soul.
One of my favorite songs ever.
So when we went on tour, the next tour we did was I think it was called the Def Jam tour with LO, Cool J, and Houdini was kind of co-headlining, um, and we were one of the opening acts on that tour as well. And Eric B and Rakim was on that tour as well, and they had freshly released, and I know you got soul, and that kind of especially talking to Chuck about it, Chuck and Hank, that was like okay, Yo Bum Rush the Show took so long to come out that it kind of got dated fast. So that was their Rebel Without a Pause was their attempt to catch up with the times, and then yeah, so Hank was on this noise thing. He was like, all our songs got to have a noise in it. Like Public Enemy one had the the blow your head in it. Then the Rebel with the everybody calls it a teapot, but it's a horn. Anyway, um, so in fact, it was so bad that I think it was. I don't know if it was the first night. It might have been the first night of that tour. Hank had the bright idea of playing the blow your head uh through the entire show. And I was like, he's like, yo, come Tony, it's gonna work, it's gonna work. And I was like, so the crowd was looking at us like, first of all, they didn't have, we were still new.
Right.
It was still early in our career. And they're looking at us like, first of all, we on stage with Uzis. That's when W's have Uzis. And then you got this and they were like, what the is going on here? And it was terrible. It was terrible. And I remember we got off stage, Leo Cohen met us backstage, and he was like, "What happened? What was that noise?" And Hank tried to tell. Hank was there. Hank tried to explain to him, man, we did that on purpose. I think Hank was there, but anyway, we tried to explain to him that was planned, not by me, but anyway, it was planned. He's like, "Well, that's terrible. That's terrible. That's horrible. You were running people away from it." It was a bad idea. But Hank was obsessed with this noise through the stuff, and I think he kind of backed off it after that.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Thankfully.
yeah, that was the
Well,
last time we did that.
Well, with the Rebel Without a Pause, a few things I want to ask you about the Chub Rock and Howie T's, the rock and roll dude that
Hmm.
you were scratching on there. Do you remember what it was that appealed to you about? Because there's Eric B and Rakim, I know you got soul, but then the Chub Rock also plays an important role in this song. So how and why did that record appeal to you so much?
Well, it was as simple as this. Um, they gave me. I got the assignment to do scratching, and later found out. But anyway, I got the assignment to come up with a scratch for a Rebel song, and I basically grabbed a bunch of records and started fooling around with different songs, and then I pulled out, you know, uh, rock and roll dude, which as far as I know was never a hit record. I was being a DJ, I buy pretty much everything, and I started playing around with it, and it did the transformer. And I was like, and it was to me, it just clicked right away. I was like, this is it. As a matter of fact, I might have been like the second or third record I picked up, and I was like, this is it. This is it. This is it. I just knew then and there. I said, this is it. And I was excited. Oh my goodness, I was so excited. I went to the studio, and Chuck and Hank were in there, and so I go in the booth, and I start doing the scratch, and and they just kind of had a puzzled look on their face. So I went back in the where the mixer is in the main area, and Chuck was like, I don't like it, I don't like it, I don't like it. Hank was like, I get it, I get it. I just think he said Hank was like, I think we just need to EQ out the low end, and it's good. So I went back in there, I laid it down, and next thing I know, that was it was what it was. But it was no question in my mind. I was like, this is hot. This is it. This is it. And sure enough, people loved it. Yeah.
So, so early on, this is before It Takes a Nation Millions to Hold Us Back is out. How did you learn about yourself as a creative person from this experience that, Chuck isn't agreeing, Hank's kind of not all the way on board? How did you, other than having to change it, which wasn't exactly how you had done it initially, how did you learn how to navigate this creative process for yourself?
Well, being a DJ, I think obviously there's a lot of producers that are DJs. I think it's about DJs kind of know what people like, because it's our job. I mean, yeah, we have our own taste, but DJs naturally, if you're a good DJ, you naturally kind of know what people like. So I go off of that judgment when I try to create, and I try to be different. Like yeah, I try to be different as I can. I try to make scratch parts that are sonically appealing, not just noise. Like I get tired of people doing the same old, the what's his name, the fresh, um, what's his name with the glass, Fat Five Freddy, fresh, it's like how many times you gonna scratch that, it's just I just like when it's sonically different. It makes you know what I mean. Uh, I like to scratch a lot of vocals as well. Um, I try to be creative, like use the turntable as an instrument. You know what I mean? Not just. I mean, the fresh scratch is cool, but it's like how many
There,
times you gonna
yeah,
how many times you gonna
there's more out
yeah
there. There's
yeah
thousands,
yeah yeah
tens of thousands of records.
yeah exactly.
So that being said, one of the things that always shocked me about Rebel Without a Pause is the on the vinyl, the single version, the picture of you guys in front of the subway stop, you were all like smiling and looking happy and stuff. And I was like, man, this song is not like. So do you remember that picture? Because I remember when I got it, I was like, wait a minute.
I guarantee you, what happened was somebody cracked a joke. I promise you, because we didn't take pictures like that. So
Yeah.
it's a good chance somebody cracked a joke and we were still smiling. Yeah.